And that should be us live. Guys, thank you very much for watching, and please bear with us. We're trying to stream to two same places, but in different ways. We're trying to stream vertically and horizontally. So we're trying to stream to shorts and the normal YouTube algorithm. Hopefully it works. It's worked before in the channel, but I feel like the setup we've come up with today looks very, very good. So welcome to another one of Footy Experts. We told you we're going to stay consistent. That's the second one of the week. So yeah. We're staying consistent. That's what matters most. But yeah, Yusuf, how you doing?
I'm amazing. And how are you doing?
I'm good. Ready for this. And you know, the big topic today is transfers. It's the big topic of the summer in the transfer window. You know, we want to focus on the transfer window, of course. And it's kind of hard to talk about this year's transfer window without talking about Mbappe, because Mbappe has really been the hot topic over the summer. He's been the hot topic really for the past few years with the speculations of him going to Real Madrid. And we saw his announcement. I think it was today. No, it was yesterday. Mbappe's announcement.
Yeah, it was yesterday.
It was yesterday, and it was huge. So we're going to go over Mbappe first. We're going to talk about first the announcement, of course, the event and how that went. And then, of course, we're going to talk about how Mbappe is going to fit within this Real Madrid team, which I think is also very important.
Yep.
And of course, you being the Real Madrid expert, we'll start with you.
Let me start with the unveiling of Kylian Mbappe. One thing I noticed about the whole unveiling is how happy Mbappe looked, and I was happy to see him like really enjoy the presentation like the way he did. I'm happy to see the number of fans and supporters that showed up to show love to Kylian Mbappe. 80,000, equaling Cristiano Ronaldo's
That's
record.
crazy.
First and second. 80,000 people actually showed up to show love, equaling Cristiano Ronaldo's record. And the most amazing thing is even Cristiano Ronaldo was in the stands to show love to Kylian Mbappe. I love the kind of energy Cristiano gives to Kylian Mbappe. He's kind of like Cristiano's body, more like his more like his gifts to the game. One kid who grew up idolizing Kylian Mbappe and loving him so much so that idolizing Cristiano Ronaldo and loving him so much so that he has created a whole identity that lines up with Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah.
And for the big man to be in the stadium showing love, for Zinedine Zidane to be in the stadium showing love is amazing. Florentino Perez looked happy. His family, his mom was crying. Everybody looked happy for Kylian to be in the Real Madrid jersey. They did everything they could to recreate Cristiano Ronaldo's presentation, which I loved. He kind of like mimicked his idol to the bone or to the T. And I was so happy for that thing. And welcome Kylian Mbappe to the greatest club ever known to man. Welcome to Real Madrid. We are going to love you. We are going to treat you better than wherever you have been, including the France national team, and you are going to win more than you have won anywhere in football. Welcome Kylian Mbappe to the Whites, to Real Madrid, Los Blancos, the best team in the world.
Yeah, and I feel like they kind of have the same impact in a way. You know, of course, Ronaldo, when he came to Real Madrid, he already had a Ballon d'Or. But Mbappe, he's been playing at that level since he was 17. So I feel like the impact and the need for the fans is also there. Kind of also left in similar fashions, because United didn't want to let Ronaldo go. PSG didn't want to let Mbappe go.
Yeah.
So they kind of joined in similar fashions where just the name
similar.
Yeah, the name, the attraction of the club just really gravitated them towards going to Real Madrid, which I think is just amazing. But now getting onto, if you want, in a way, the meat and potatoes of this whole deal is, and what every fan right now is asking, how do these two play? Not how do these two players, but how does Mbappe integrate into the Real Madrid attack? Because at the start of the season, we were all complaining that Ancelotti didn't know what he was doing, and Ancelotti cooked. He cooked to win La Liga and Champions League. Ancelotti cooked. I think that with the Euros, with Bellingham not performing quite well, with Vinny not playing quite well, we kind of have forgotten, unfortunately, how well this Real Madrid team played throughout the season, and this Real Madrid
Very
team,
true.
they really cooked. So my question to you first, I'll try and come up with answers after as well,
Hmm.
is how do Real Madrid integrate Mbappe into this attack?
The amazing thing about Kylian Mbappe is his ability to play in a lot of roles in the forward line.
Yeah,
And I think with how long he had played as a number nine in all of those teams, and even in France, when the going gets tough, he gets put in the number nine role. It'll be easy to integrate Kylian Mbappe. Last season, you could clearly see we needed a number nine.
yeah,
We shifted into the 4-4-2 formation just to make it happen. And in the beginning, we struggled a little, but in the end, Ancelotti was able to make it work. And you could see Vini had to totally adjust for more than half a season to that role. That shows that he is not as comfortable in that role as he is in his wings role. You understand me?
yeah.
So with Kylian Mbappe working in this squad, I have to be honest with you. Us winning Champions League last season might be the biggest problem we face with the integration of Kylian Mbappe. I said this when we won the Champions League. If Mbappe doesn't come and we win the Champions League, his coming wouldn't be received by the players like the way he expects them to receive him.
It would be a
The
failure.
reason is,
I'm
the
sorry, it would
reason
be.
is, the reason is he would, everybody on the squad would feel like we did it before you came. So you have to be humble. You understand me? We have players who have ego like Vinny, who is supposed to be currently the leader of the new school. If Kylian comes with the mindset of being integrated into the squad and let his performance give him the role of being the leader, then this is going to be a perfectly seamless integration. But if he comes and wants to take over the reins, it is going to cause a problem. The second thing is I would want Vinny to also want to receive Kylian Mbappe. One thing research I have done today is how many people from the Real Madrid squad were liking and following or liking Kylian Mbappe's presentation
Page.
on the Real Madrid page.
Yeah.
And honestly, I didn't see a single like from Kylian Mbappe. I saw all of the other players. You see a like from Tramini here and there. You see a like from Kamavinga here and there. Luka Modric liked almost everything. Jude Bellingham liked a lot of the pictures. And Jude is one player I know wouldn't treat it with a lot more ego. But the only thing I go back to is his statement when they were being videoed with Chouamini, asking how good Kylian Mbappe was
Yeah.
and saying he thinks Haaland was better.
Yeah, that's a
But then I'm sure that is something they can move past.
yeah.
But currently speaking, I think his integration would be based on how he and Vinny Jr. treat each other coming into the season. Because Vinny Jr. is also in line to probably win the Ballon d'Or. And that is going to further increase the ego. That is going to further make him feel he's invisible in the squad. So Kylian has to come with a humble nature because these people have won it all last season. So you come in here, you have to earn your keep. The same way, Vinny Jr. should understand the addition of Kylian Mbappe isn't only to boost the ego of Real Madrid, but to boost the ego of the whole squad. It is going to make us practically unstoppable.
It really is.
And they should be able to work around winning and not self glorification.
Yeah, and I kind of want to I kind of want to draw a comparison here. And you kind of think of, you think of Mbappe, Vinny, and what Real Madrid have done. It really, really reminds me of the early Barcelona team, like the early 2010s.
Mm-hmm.
That team, it was amazing.
Yeah.
It was the best football team we had ever seen. They were playing the best football we had ever seen. And then there were talks of Neymar coming in, and then there were talks, and then a year after there were talks of Suarez coming in, and some of the same questions were raised. We all know the kind of behavior that Suarez was up to, just unbelievable, selfish, weird behavior. You had Neymar, who was also like known for, partying a lot, having that Brazilian lifestyle, thinking he was the man, and that's probably the reason why he wanted to go to Barcelona. So
Facts.
And then you of course had Messi, who's obviously going to be the leader of the team because he is the leader, he's the best player. But we know Messi to be kind of more of a quiet character, so we never really knew how all of those players were going to integrate. And in a sense, it worked because they had the greatest front three we had ever seen. But at the same time,
Facts.
did it really work? Because 2015 they were the
Mm-hmm.
Champions League, 2016 they were alright, and 2017 Neymar was gone. So
Mm-hmm.
when you think about it, it's like, yeah, in a sense they did work, but their peak
Mm-hmm.
was 1 year because again their ego kind of destroyed the team, or in a
Destroy
sense
the team.
Neymar's ego destroyed the team. Neymar's ego and Neymar's selfishness in a sense destroyed the team. So my question here is, are we going to see this Real Madrid team even coming close to what that front three was able to do? And are we also going to see them kind of like crumble like that front three also did?
I think they have the they have the 50-50 potential. They have the potential to be very good, and they have the potential to probably crumble.
Yeah.
They don't have a middle ground with this team. The only middle ground is one person leaving and two people carrying the reins. But I think they should put ego aside and create an invincible team.
Yes.
I think these are two players that can work because even BBC at a certain time started problems started happening. Bill didn't want to pass Cristiano
Yeah.
Ronaldo the ball sometimes. You get me? All of these things happen when it comes to this. But I feel like, and I also feel like these kids have a certain love. The Chouaminis, the Camavingas, and the Vinis and the Judes. That if Mbappe is able to just add himself into the group, it is going to be seamless. They love fashion, they love clothes, they love basketball. They have a lot of things in common.
Yeah.
They hang out after plays. They hang out with each other. They go visit each other's countries and they do a lot of things in America together. They share the same friends. They go to similar parties. If Mbappe, through the Camavingas and the Chouaminis, the French boys is able to like just join the squad, then it's a problem. And I know these people can make it work, especially with a manager like Ancelotti.
Yeah.
He would find a way to bring that chemistry. The French boys already don't have that ego. The French boys already have a certain level of respect for Kylian Mbappe. So it will be easier for the Brazilian boys to accept him. It will be easier for someone like a Jude Bellingham to accept him. And the moment we start winning, the moment everybody is enjoying football and everybody is getting his own. We know Mbappe can give you 30 goals a season. If Vinny is getting his 20 goals and 10, 15 assists, if Bellingham is getting his 10 goals and 5 assists and
Yeah.
getting to do his clutch celebrations, if Rodrigo is giving his 15 to 20 goals, I think everybody is going to be happy. And they have a potential to be one of the greatest lineups we've ever seen once they lock in and take ego out of the picture.
Yeah, very good. So yeah, that was really like the main point is really the Mbappe, him coming, the announcement, and then of course I really wanted to draw those comparisons to the MSN, and then you also did it with the BBC because in a way the MSN worked beautifully because they hanged out outside the pitch. They were best friends. Those three were
Yeah.
best friends. They played beautifully, but then at some point it was destroyed. And here it's
Yeah.
like I think them, as you said, you made a great point, and I was thinking about it. I was like, yeah, that's true. They frequent the same spots.
Yeah.
Over the past 2 to 3 summers, we've seen all of these guys, whether together or separately, going to NBA games, hanging out with NBA stars, going to
Yeah.
Brazil, Fashion Week, all that stuff. Like they frequent the same places. They kind of have the same interests. I think the integration into the squad is going to be a bit more seamless. So that's very good.
Seamless. Yeah.
Yeah.
Depending on how Kylian depending on how Kylian kind of integrates himself into the team.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy for their progression. I'm happy for what they would be able to do. And the football world shouldn't only think about this in a negative light. I know Kylian Mbappe has his tendencies, and I know Vinny Jr. has their tendencies, but they are not bigger than the team, and they are not bigger than the club.
And the human being.
Once Ancelotti has put his stamp on you, and once the biggest boss, Florentino Perez, has put his stamp on you, I think everybody will fall in line. You get me? because
Hopefully.
in Real Madrid, people do fall in line. It is not going to be the PSG situation where one person feels like he's bigger than the team. No, in Real Madrid, people do fall in line. In Barcelona, people do fall in line. So I'm guessing this is going to be one of those situations.
Very good. So staying on the topic of Real Madrid, I don't know if you've been following what's been happening with Lenny Euro. It happened today.
Hmm.
Um, United, Real Madrid, Liverpool, and I think Chelsea as well. They were all in for the player, and United ended up signing Lenny Euro. He wanted to go to Real Madrid. Real Madrid
Hmm.
did want Lenny Euro as well. It's just United were willing to put a bit more money on the table. And I don't know how much you've been following this kid Lenny Euro. If you know anything about him.
Yeah, I have been following him for a while, especially after Real Madrid showed interest in him. I
Yeah,
went to delve really deep into him as a player. The only thing I liked about this thing is the age and the type of chemistry we can create with the addition of a player like Lenny. You
another
understand me? We
another French boy.
another French boy,
Yeah,
Um, there is going to be that chemistry with the French players. There is also going to be that passing of touch from the likes of Alaba, the likes of um, uh, the German defender, the likes of Alaba and the likes of Rudiger to the likes of Lenny Euro. He's only what 18 years old, young player joining the squad. He has like 2 3 years to integrate himself into the squad fully, and he's going to be his progression is going to meet all of the young players we have. So when they hit their peak, they are going to hit their peak in almost the same time.
yeah,
And when it comes to physicality, when it comes to size as a player, only at 18 years old, the kid already has the frame or the potential to have a frame of an outstanding center back.
yeah.
You get me? He's physical, he has the technical gifts, he has the height, and he has everything it takes. Because with center backs, you don't only look at their performances, you look at their potential to
Yeah.
grow. Because the game is changing, the game is moving towards big center backs who can do everything. Virgil van Dijk is kind of like one of the prototypes who's going to lead the new school. You know, you need a Virgil van Dijk type player who's big and still mobile,
Good
who's
on the ball.
big and still can defend, who's big and still can control the ball. You get
Yeah.
me? Good on the ball and good in the air. So Lenny Euro is kind of that frame. It is a loss. We were willing to pay around 25, and Manchester was willing to go up to 60. The kid wanted to come to Real Madrid,
Yeah.
but once Manchester United dropped that bag, agents and management, they are going to have their fat bonuses, so they are only going to push. The team is also going to make a lot of money, so they are going to push him into Manchester United. And at the end of the day, trust me, this is an outstanding player signing for Manchester United. Don't look at the money now. Just look at the fact that this money is going to look like a bargain in 3 4 5 years when this kid is only 23 years old
Yeah.
and doing what he is doing in the team. Provided the team moves with the progression of a team like a player like Lenny Yoro. Because the young players, their progression works well when the team is doing well.
Yeah, and for me with Euro is, as you said, in terms of potential, and it's kind of the similar thing of what we said about Haaland. If you had to build a centre back in a lab, I think you would want your centre back to look a little bit like Lenny Euro. I think Lenny Euro really
Yeah,
has the build of the perfect centre back. Around 6 foot
yeah.
4, he's very good on the ball. He's lanky, but with
Hmm.
time, he's going to put on that muscle mass. He's going to get stronger. So he's
Yeah,
potent, and again, he's also excellent in the air. For example, we also bought Zirkzee.
yeah.
Zirkzee's tall, but Zirkzee's not good in the air. He
Hmm.
scored he scored 0 headers last season. So
Hmm.
with Euro, you have a player here whose potential is amazing, but my main problem with Euro at the minute is the product now. Is Lenny Euro right now? Who is Lenny Euro today, and is he going to be able to come into this team and be effective right now? And in comparison to Matthias de Ligt, this is kind of where I'm a bit
Hmm.
torn, because de Ligt at also only 24 years old. In 5 years, de Ligt's going to be 29, so he's gonna be hitting his prime
Hmm.
in 5 years. So a player who's more experienced, who's more physical, just as good in the air. The only thing that I think the Euro has over de Ligt would be pace, because everything else I feel like de Ligt kind of beats Euro in. The problem with de Ligt is, I think it's much harder to convince Bayern Munich to let go of the league than it is
To
for
sell him.
Lille to let go of the Euro, because Bayern don't really
Yeah.
need the money as desperately as
Mm-hmm.
Lille,
Leo.
because Bayern, they're trying to really go for the Champions League. You see the moves they made with Palinha and
Mm-hmm.
Olise. We're gonna get into that in a second, but Bayern are really trying to go for it. So them not letting go of the league is understandable. But me personally, I would have 100% preferred to have signed the league. I like Euro, as I said. I think his upside is second to none as far as young centre backs go. His upside is
Mm-hmm.
astronomical. He can be one of the best centre backs in the world. My problem is we had the worst, not the worst, but we did have the worst. We had the worst at least jump, because last 2 years ago we had the best defense in the league, and last year we finished with a negative scoring record, so with a negative goal difference. So our defense was atrocious last season. And my thing is,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to bring in this young lad who's going to be asked a lot, who's going to be criticized a lot, and I kind of feel bad for him. And my thing is, can Euro
Yeah.
do that? Because the ligt he's played in Ajax, he's played
Mm-hmm.
in Juventus,
Juve.
he's played in Bayern. He's experienced.
At just 24
Yeah,
years
it's
old.
only 24. He's gonna turn 25 in August. So if you ask me who I would have preferred, I would have said Euro. I mean, we've said the ligt, excuse me. But I am happy with Euro just because of his potential. So yeah,
Yep. Yep.
that's my verdict on Euro.
The former head coach said something about him. He said what? On the pitch, he anticipates very well and knows how to position himself in order to intercept the ball. He is quite fast for a defender and really comfortable with the ball.
Hmm.
That is what his former coach said about him. At a very young age, he had already developed these things that are very pivotal in like the league that he's going to play now.
Yeah,
Interceptions are very important in the league like the English Premier League, where it is very fast paced. Him being fast and comfortable on the ball at the same times give room for the coach to use him in a plethora of positions and flexibility to change positions with him in the back line. You understand me?
yeah,
Also, I see him to be a very smart player at his age. I would also choose Delete over him because at only 24 years old, Delete has the experience of someone who has played for over 10, 15 years in the Pro League.
yeah. He's a
Captaining
monster.
Ajax at only 19 years old, going to Juve, only not working because of the changes in managers, the changes in philosophy, him being rescued by Bayern Munich, positioning himself in the Bayern Munich squad like the way he did at only 24 years old. Also, Bayern fans coming out to petition the sale of Delete just shows how much they value him.
Yeah.
You understand me? So Bayern wasn't looking to let go of Delete, but Euro is, and you signing Delete. The only other thing I didn't like was your coach still going back to his Ajax boys, bro.
Dutch. We're all Dutch. Zirkzee Dutch. The lick Dutch is all Dutch. Even our coaching staff. But to me, I always say, as a coach, you're of course like you're kind of like going to bite, and it's going to be like your DNA bleeding into the club. Because I remember when Mourinho first came in, his coaching staff were a lot of his boys. He brought in a lot of Portuguese speaking players. He brought in Dallo. He brought in Fred. He brought in Matic. And even when he went to Roma, he brought Matic again. So it's like managers always do that. Even Pep, like when he first came to City, a lot of the players he brought over, either from La Liga, like he brought in Bravo, he brought in Nolito. Again, managers tend to do that. They tend to go for their boys. They tend to go with what they know, with what they like.
I understand that, but in his case, in the case of your coach, I think he has done it too much so that people kind of feel like he's being milked by the Ajax thing. You
Yeah.
mentioned the likes of the players Ancelotti or the players Pep Guardiola signed. He had never coached some of them.
Yeah.
Never.
Okay, good point.
He
That's a
just
good
brought
point.
them because of
Yeah.
comfort. He just brought them because they would understand him the most. He brought them because they fit into what he was trying to do. Let's take Mourinho, for example. He bought some of them because he had worked with them before, but he also brought some of them because he had never worked with them, and he knew working with these kids is going to be more profitable for him. You understand me? They are going
Yeah.
to listen and understand him. But with your coach, most of the kids he's bringing, aside the Dutch boys, are people he had worked with Ayas.
Touche.
You get me? So
Yeah.
I kind of feel like, yeah, that kind of puts a damper on it. Even though some of the names this is practically aside De Jong, this is practically the only other person I have seen him try to sign that is kind of like, okay, you might have worked with this kid before, but this is solid.
Yeah.
You get me? Lisandro came and like changed everybody's mind. The coming of Lisandro, people were not that excited, not because of his talent, but probably because of his size and the league he was coming
I
in.
was.
But he
There's
changed
a video on
everybody's
the
mind.
channel. I was. Hey,
Mhm.
I was.
Yeah, yeah, he kind of changed my mind because I wasn't really too excited. His size, I felt like he was going to be bullied. And Anthony, I never really liked because I never really saw the potential of Anthony to be a player I would pay that much for, and he is going to easily translate. So he needs some redemption, and I hope some of the players. And I don't think this Lenny Euro signing was his signing. It doesn't look like his kind of signing.
He
So
he
I
he
just hope
wanted
it
the licked
works
as
for him.
well. I feel like Ten Hag also wanted the licked, but it's like
Hmm.
probably like the amount of money the lick was gonna. But again, I don't know because even these journalists, all the stuff they say is so conflicting. They don't know either. It's like it's one of the few times where I saw Romano or at least Ornstein beating Romano to like an announcement. It's like it usually doesn't happen that way, you know. It's like a lot of these
Yeah,
journalists, they're a bit like us. Like they don't know what's going on as well, which is kind of sad, so kind of worrying because it's like you kind of expect your AT journalists to know, but I feel like it's like the new approach for United is a new approach of Ineos of not letting things leak as easily, of us being a bit more conservative with our deals, with our meddling and how we do and how we go about our business. You know, we all know about
I
the problems Man United have had over the years with their leagues in the club. So I think they're just trying to control that really.
yeah, I think the teams are getting smarter with the leagues, you know. And I kind of noticed by just going through Fabrizio Romano's page and just realizing, yo, it moved from him breaking the news to creating content. You understand me? Now he's a content creator, bro. Because one news, he's going to milk it until he gives you the news. Okay, so here we go. Real Madrid are currently in talks with the people over Lenny Euro. They went to a meeting this morning and we are going to keep you posted. That is the first content he creates. He's going to milk it for the whole week. He's going to go a week of telling us they just left the office. Lenny Euro just came to Madrid in a private jet. Oh, okay. He's in Zara shopping. So probably he might sign. Oh, the next moment, oh, he just booked a flight to the UK. I don't know if he's going to London or he's going to Manchester. Oh, his flight is in London, so I'm guessing Chelsea is in. You understand me? That is
Yeah.
what he does lately before he announces. So I think teams are looking to like hide some of these things so as to create leverage for themselves, so as to prevent managers from interfering too much in like negotiations that messes up the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. So I like Manchester for doing that. There's just too much drama around Manchester as a team that I think most of their things should go under the radar until they are secured. You get me?
I agree. Just to stay on United one more, because the other signing United made was the boy Zirkzee, and talented. Zirkzee is very talented,
Mm-hmm.
but his finishing ability, I'm not really sold. From what I've
Mm-hmm.
seen, from what I've reacted to in my channel at least 3 times last week on live
Mm-hmm.
streams and etc. From the stats I've looked at, from people I've heard talking, from my own little bit of research,
Yeah.
Hoyland is a better finisher, much better finisher. I saw Hoyland last year and I said, you know what, he's gonna come in and score a bit,
Mm-hmm.
of course. And although Hoyland didn't have the best season, in a bad
Mm-hmm.
year, in his first year in the Premier League, at the young age that he is, he scored 16 goals in all competitions. That's
Yeah.
not terrible for a striker in his first year. And
It
then
was amazing, actually.
and then you look at, for example, Zirkzee. He's very tall, but he's poor in the air. He scored,
Yeah.
yeah, it was one goal from outside the box last season out of 26 chances. Inside the box is a bit better, but the thing about Zirkzee really is he's very technical. Zirkzee is amazing on the ball.
Mm-hmm.
He can create a lot of things, but as a striker, I feel like we would have done ourselves a bit better if we went for the likes of Ivan Toney. I feel like Ivan Toney would have served us a lot better, or much better,
Yeah.
than Zirkzee. Again, these signings are good signings. It's just De Ligt and Ivan Toney would have been a lot better, in my opinion. A lot better.
Mm. Currently, I actually don't like the direction Manchester United is going with the striker position. You signed a
Yeah.
project last season.
In
We saw
Hoyland.
spurts of the fact that, yeah, in Hoyland, we saw spurts of the fact of what he can do as a striker, but he's still a project. We still have to give him 2, 3 seasons for him to see what he can do. When Manchester City was looking for a striker, even though Haaland was also in some form a project, he was a more well done project than Hoyland coming in. You see other teams going in for the Real Madrid going in for a Kylian Mbappe. Done. You
Yeah.
see other teams going in for well matured and well kind of well
Even Osimhen.
seasoned professionals. Even Osimhen, people,
Yeah.
you get me, seasoned professionals. And you see Manchester United going in for another project after they are already handling one other project. So that is the only thing I don't like. Ivan Toney would have been perfect. You get me? He already knows the league. He's hungry. He's looking to make his mark. He's looking to make his
Yeah.
name. He feels like he's good enough to be in a bigger team. He's going to cost you less. And yeah, Ivan Toney, as you said, would have been a better addition. And I'm not saying the potential of this new kid isn't up there. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
He's up there. His potential is actually up there. But at this particular point, Manchester United shouldn't be looking too much into potentials, but look into more finished products because they already have too many potentials on their team that they should be looking to more finished products that can come and help the already thriving potentials on their team.
Yeah, and the last point really on Zirkzee is like the approach the board is taking. They said they only want to sign players that are under 25, and to me that's ludicrous. It's silly.
Thanks.
It's like players normally hit the prime around 27 to 30 in this day and age, and you also want to get players with experience. What's the point of just signing young players? Who's that going to benefit? You need players with experience. Fair enough, you're trying to start a new project and you're gonna do things your way, but come on. Let's not be silly and come up with these silly parameters so you guys spend less money. You have to
That
throw
is
in the
true.
cash sometimes. I actually thinking about it. That's kind of like them kind of like being scared or something like that. Like they don't want to go for all the players because they know they have to spend more cash. And from a business sense, it kind of makes sense. But still, from a football playing sense, it's like, for example, Bruno. Bruno wasn't 25 when we signed him. We still need the Bruno, and Bruno's been massively impactful. So, in that
He's
sense,
been the best player so far.
yeah, in that sense, like sometimes it's not sometimes, but I actually want to say majority of the time, you understand players that are older than 25. It's just why 25? Why not 26? Why not 24? It's a silly metric, really. But we've talked about United. We've talked about Real Madrid. I want to raise up one more topic before I give you the keys, and that is Bayern Munich, because
Yeah.
over the last 2 seasons, I have said Bayern Munich were going to win the Champions League. I thought that they had gone far enough. I thought that their squad was strong enough. I saw them demolish PSG 2 years ago, and then they didn't win the Champions League that year. So I said they're going to win the league this year that just passed. They didn't win the league because they went up against Real Madrid, and even against Real Madrid, considering the fact that Real Madrid won, like Bayern didn't play too bad against Real Madrid. And this summer transfer window, they signed the best defensive CDM. When I say defensive, I'm going to put defensive twice. Bayern have signed the best defensive CDM. The best CDM is Rodri, but we can't deny Paulinho has led the league in tackles for the past 2 seasons for Fulham.
Yeah.
Like the best defensive CDM has been Palinha over the
That's
past
true.
2 seasons, and Bayern just went in and spent 50 million on him. Of course, we saw what Elise was able to do for Crystal Palace in a short
Yeah.
stint, and he in a way he was really the brightest star last year for Crystal Palace, even after his injury. And of
Yep.
course, United were also in for him. So, what do you think of Bayern Munich's chances in one, regaining the league, which is a must, and two,
hmm
going for the Champions League? Because Bayern Munich fans, their expectations are very high.
Very true.
Because Bayern going into next season, their fans are expecting big things. So, do you think these signings are going to help, or are they kind of like Man United?
Bayern Munich are they are going all in.
Yeah.
The only signing they did that I didn't understand was the coach appointment. But we don't know what he could do as a manager, because I feel like when you are going all in, you don't do the Juventus mistake. Juventus brought in Cristiano Ronaldo, looking to go all in, but then brought in a manager who has never really won nothing. Brought in a manager who doesn't really have that Champions League experience like that.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. You brought in Cristiano Ronaldo and brought in a manager who hasn't managed players like that before, who hasn't even been a threat in the Champions League like that before. You get me? You bring in managers who fit the profile. Real Madrid, looking to make a big splash, went back to Carlo Ancelotti, even though he was at Everton, knowing very well his pedigree as a manager. You get me?
Yeah.
That is how you do business. But aside that, the fans are on their neck. I like the fact that the fans are keep holding them accountable. I like the fact that they didn't allow them to sell the league. So that means they are telling them, yo, this season we are going all out.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that they went in for a player like Paulinho. The reason I'm saying that is because players like Paulinho go under the radar. People don't appreciate their work rate. Remember one of my popular sayings on the other show? I want my defenders to defend and my strikers to score. I don't care about anything else you do. So if you are my CDM, the key word is CDDM. You get me? So do the D part,
Pause.
defend. Yeah.
Yeah, but defend. Yeah,
No,
yeah.
Didi. Yeah, you need to defend. You need to defend. You need to hold down. And that is why some of my favorite CDMs are people who prioritize defending. Michael Essien, N'Golo Kante, Casemiro's, even Rodri. They still prioritize the defending. I would want you to even defend and just give the pass to the next available player. You can be my CDM. I don't need you to be the most creative CDM. And that is why I love Chouamini, because at his age, he understands the job to the fullest. So that signing was actually a statement signing. And the fact that they are really stringing along the signing of the signing of the Canadian,
Davis.
uh, Alfonso Davis.
Yeah.
They are stringing Real Madrid along with that. Just shows that they know what they want to do, and they would want all of these players to be in the squad as they go chase this level of glory. You understand me? I like the fact that they are going all in, and that is they are going to be one of the teams to beat. Real Madrid is still creating the squad to beat, but Bayern Munich are still going to be one of the teams to beat, and Manchester City maintaining their squad and everything, still maintain their pedigree as one of the number one teams to beat in Europe. So yeah, Bayern Munich are going to be a big threat, and I feel like they are not even done during this transfer window. They are going to really go in and look for any other corner they could like patch and do it before the window closes.
Yeah, because I'm looking at this, for example, this Bayern Munich midfield right now. You've got Kimmich, just as a possible starting 11. You've got Kimmich, Palinha, and Musiala.
Mm-hmm.
That's a midfield that can
That's
beat
crazy.
that's a midfield that can beat City or Real Madrid. You've got Harry Kane up front, who last year was the Golden Boot winner. You've got Sané, Olise, Gnabry, and Koeman. Those are your four wingers. Defense still solid with Min Jae Kim, who we forgot about last year because again his first year in Bayern Munich. De Ligt, Upamecano, Rafael Guerrero, Eric Dyer,
Mhm.
Neuer at the back. So I'm telling you, like this team, I have to pick Real Madrid as favourites because Real Madrid with Mbappe, if they don't win the Champions League, to me is a failure.
Facts.
But Bayern, first of
Are
all,
creating a
they
squad.
have to dominate the league. That's a no-brainer. They
Facts.
have to. They have to. That the fans will not accept anything else. And the Champions League, you want to at the bare minimum with this squad make the semi-finals, if not the final. This team should be going to the final, in
Yeah,
my opinion. I think this is a very good team, and I feel like Bayern every year they have improved their team. Might be
they
this
have.
year.
It might be. It
It
might
may
be.
just
It
be.
might be. It might be. And they are still looking to. They are still looking into the Javi Simons deal, so that shows that they are very serious. Even if
S-
they can get
s-
him on loan from PSG, like Bayern Munich are trying to go all in. Real Madrid is creating a squad. They are trying to tell them, "Yo, we are creating a squad to match your intensity."
yeah.
You get me? So I can see tensions growing. I can see tensions growing, and when they get a player like Javi Simons too, it is going to make them more deadly, more deadly as a squad. Look at the midfield you just mentioned,
Yeah.
the back line, look at the replacements. Like I put in a lot of value in player replacements. So if one player from the starting 11 is being substituted, who is coming in for the person? And what is the quality of the person coming in? Teams like Real Madrid, Manchester United, Manchester City, the Chelseas, and like the Bayern Munichs,
Yeah.
even the Barcelonas, the change in quality is either par or
Higher.
not too much below. And that is what makes them very competitive as compared to the smaller teams. Because the smaller teams fields in their best and all
Benfica.
of the substitutions are kind of, you know, are
Yeah.
kind of mid.
You're right. And
But Bayern Munich is trying to create a squad that everybody that comes in is on that level. And that is amazing.
and I feel like that's kind of the problem. As you said, the smaller team. Benfica is not a small team, but
Hmm.
in the big
As compared.
yeah, like in the big European stage, they definitely take a back seat to the likes of Bayern and Real Madrid
Hmm.
and United and City. And the reason why is if we were to create a Benfica 11 since 2010,
Yeah.
that team would win the Champions League tomorrow. You're talking about Ruben Diaz, you're talking about Di Maria, you're talking about Matic, you're talking about Suman, you're talking about João Felix, so many quality Enzo Fernandez, so many quality players in that
So
thing.
many quality
Yeah,
players.
and it's like these players are never replaced. You
Hmm.
may get in another player from the academy, but like it takes a year or another year. Real Madrid,
Facts.
they Ronaldo was gone, Benzema was gone, Mbappe.
Hmm.
Like 1 or 2 years after they get in Mbappe, and it's like that's the difference, and I think that's a very good point actually.
Facts.
Now,
Facts.
these were the three main teams I want to talk about: Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, and United, because these are the teams that have made the biggest moves so far in the transfer market. Is there
Hmm.
anything else you want to talk about in the transfer market?
In the transfer markets, the only other thing I wanted to talk about is I wanted to give Lille their flowers because Lille have been doing amazing business over the last few years. People don't realize it, but Lille has produced more like 5 to 6 of the current young, amazing players in Europe now have been produced through the Lille Academy, and they have been bagging in a lot of money for selling those players. We can go through the list per prices. They are top 10 sales so far in this season, and this can be a TikTok shot. Their top 10 sales so far this season. Number one, they sold Pepe to Arsenal for 80 million.
Yeah,
They sold Osimhen to Napoli for 78 million. And now Yuro to Manchester United for 62 million. They sold Liao. People have forgotten that they sold Liao to AC Milan for 50 M's. Botman to Newcastle for 37 M's. Onana to Everton for 35 million. Baliba to Brighton for 27 million. Gabriel Magalhaes, remember, to Arsenal for 26 million. Mendes to Lyon for 22 million, and Somari to Leicester City for 20 M's. These are their top 10 sales in the past 10 years, in the past few years, and it's amazing business. We
Shout
need
out
to
Lil.
give Leo their
Shout out
flowers
Lil.
for
Shout out Lil. Yeah,
the type of business they have done so far.
yeah. You talking about those teams, and I was like, oh yeah, they did sell Leon. They did sell, but then there were so many names. I didn't even realize Botman and Magallanes. So that's another team that you're seeing like in European football. If they weren't so desperate for money, they could go in
Hmm.
for the Champions League next year again because the quality that
Easy.
can you imagine a backline of Botman and Magalhães, a front three with Leão, you've got Camavinga,
Hmm.
like what? That's a very good team, and it's like these
Easy.
is the old age story of like these teams they have to sell to survive because they don't
Easy. I
make
didn't
it.
even mention Kamavinga, bro.
Yeah, Camavinga. I thought you were gonna mention him. I kind of like
Mention Kamavinga, bro. Like, yo, shit. Yeah, that would have been crazy. The
shout out to
Leaos, the
Lil.
Onanas, wow, my God, Gabriel, Lord, Duke. Shout out to Leo for doing amazing business. Yeah, I wanted to just give them a shout out. And shout out to Real Madrid for extending Luka Modric to 2025. You know, we need that
Yeah,
vet presence in the squad. We need that player that is going to calm everybody down, bringing all of these egos in the squad. You need the likes of Modric. Cruz is gone, so we needed to keep Modric to keeping the balance. You know, the midfield is secured for the future, but they still need that leadership in midfield. And all of the young players respect Modric. All of the players that are going to come in have a different level of respect for Modric. So extending him for 2025 is to keep him as the glue of the squad. So
yeah,
shout out to Real Madrid for extending Luka Modric to 2025.
yeah. And um, again, is that another topic because we're talking about this before the show started
Hmm.
because I want to talk about the England manager for a second
Yeah.
because we all know Southgate resigned, and there are talks, like heavy talks, of the next England manager, and the three biggest names going around right now are Poch for the England job.
Pochettino.
So Pochettino, uh, Potter, and Eddie Howe. Out of those three managers, who do you think would do a better job in the within the England team? Because in my opinion, I feel like Potter is being disrespected in these conversations. I
Yeah, we
gen-
spoke about it last week.
yeah, we talked about it last week, but like in a more in depth look, it's like yes, I still think that Poch and Eddie Howe are better managers, but the way people are talking about Potter is like he was some dead manager in the Premier League. No, Potter, the way
Superb.
the way Brighton were playing was beautiful. Brighton were playing beautiful football under Potter, and let's not say Potter is the same as Southgate. That's disrespectful. I am so sorry. Saying Potter is the same as Southgate is so disrespectful because before Southgate came to England, the biggest job he had was Middlesbrough, and then he got that team relegated. Whereas Potter had Brighton within the top six, fighting for top six places. So these are two completely different managers that exist in different universes. So please, if you're talking with your friends or whoever it is, do not say Potter is the next Southgate because he is not. Potter is a much, much better manager than Southgate. Southgate was really the bottom of the barrel as far as available coaches that you had. Because
I think
I think Potter. I think Southgate struggles to get a Premier League job, whereas Potter walks into a lot of Premier League teams.
I think Graham Potter. I think his move to
Chelsea,
Chelsea
premature.
messed up his resume.
Yeah,
It really messed up his resume. I think he was doing exceptionally well until the Chelsea move, and it was premature. So it made him look bad,
yeah,
and it made everybody forgot like the exceptional performances he was putting in as the manager of um, in his former position, Brighton. You understand me? So that is why he's losing respect because I respect Eddie Howe, but I would rather Potter to Eddie Howe for the England though. I respect Eddie Howe.
yeah,
Based on tactics, based on what I've seen Potter do with Brighton, I'd see Potter doing well with this English team than he would Eddie Howe would personally. You get me?
yeah,
Personally. And this is with all due respect. And the other thing is the Poch addition is what I spoke about on Monday is the new phase, the difference in them going for English managers. Is why the Pochettino name is in all of these talks.
Yeah.
You get me? And it is a good shout for Pochettino. It is a good shout for Pochettino. It
Uh,
is a good shout for Pochettino.
yeah, out of the three, I feel like Poch is the best manager, and I feel like he's done the best. Like people again, it's when you don't win, and it's the same conversations we had before when we used to have like the old time talks, which we'll have again soon. But when we used to talk about the great players of all time, when even just the NBA and etc. And it's like, if you don't get the shiny trophy, people don't respect you. Poch went to the Champions League final. 2016, he almost won the league. It's like Poch was always close, close, close. And his team, again, Tottenham under Poch, they were playing beautiful football. Tottenham were really, really playing beautiful football. So, again, I don't want people to just completely forget that. It's kind of disrespectful.
It is. It is. Once you go to a few spaces and you are not able to replicate the type of performances we know you for, it kind of dampens what you can do as a manager. Take Conte as a manager.
Yeah.
Conte made a few wrong moves, and it looks like he can't even land a job anymore,
Yeah.
or a solid job anymore. You get me? It happens. We remember Conte in a few years ago was about to sign for Real Madrid, if not for
Yeah.
comments Sergio Ramos made.
Even he was about to come to United. We were seriously
True.
considering signing Conte.
You understand me?
It's
You
crazy the
understand me?
disrespect
So
towards managers.
no, it's the moves. You make a few moves. It's not necessarily disrespect because people kind of are asking you this question all of the time. What have you done for me lately?
Yeah.
You get me? What have you done for me lately? And looking at it, they'll look at the last thing you did, and if it's not as solid, and sometimes too, you might have come from bad situations, but the last thing you did was good, so people reach you. So it happens both ways. But either way they go, I like the list of managers they have on the table. You
Yeah.
know, sometimes they have this list, and you could see some weak links in the list. But I like the list of managers. Either way they go, this is a solid list to
Yeah.
back.
I was about to say that, like, either way you go, because the bar was so low with Southgate, you're going to get this team is going to improve massively. You're
Facts.
going to see the development of Bellingham, hopefully of Foden as well. You're going to see the development of all
Facts.
of these players. The England under 21 team is also amazing. Let's not forget that what was it? They won the World Cup or the Euro. Um, so
Mhm.
that there's also players coming through from the younger tiers of the system. So it's like England will only get better, and either Potter, Howe, or Poch, they are all massive improvements on Southgate. So
That is very true.
either way, I think England win, which is good
It's
already.
an amazing addition either way. It's an
Yeah,
amazing addition. So I'm proud of what England are trying to do. After what they showed, they look like they mean business. They look like they mean business, and I like that. I
and
like that.
that's really how it should be. Even like Brazil, I'm thinking about Brazil, and I'm kind of getting the same. Or Brazil should be in the same wavelength. Like,
Mhm.
not only are you the biggest like historical national team, you have fans like in the world that are not even Brazilian but root for your team. For example, myself, and it's like you should be doing a lot more. You should be
Yeah.
going for forget Brazilian managers, forget that. It's not working. It's not
Mhm.
working. It's not been working. Go for foreign manager. Poch, for example, go for Poch.
Facts.
I don't feel like Poch's style of football would really suit the way these players like to play. But again, you need a change. You need something different because it's clearly not working. In 2014,
Facts.
in 2014, all it took was one player to be injured for your whole team to crumble. 2018, you were poor
Yeah.
against Belgium, and even Martinez exposed you tactically. 2022,
Mhm.
come on, Croatia played well, but losing in the penalties. And then now
Yep.
Copa America does even have a round of 16, and you guys losing in the quarterfinals. So really, for Brazil, they need a change. They need a change of identity. They need a way to move forward successfully.
Very true. Very true. Very true.
Yeah.
And yeah, what you said about Brazil is perfect. What you said about Brazil is perfect. Are we going to talk about the Enzo Fernandez situation?
Oh, I was gonna text you about that, but I'm glad you brought up that
Yeah.
point because I saw it this morning and I was sick. And I'm
Yeah.
kind of glad because on Monday when we were talking about Argentina, I was kind of dismissive about Argentina because I didn't really care. They
Yeah.
won it again, and I was kind of glad I was because we didn't really celebrate them the way we should have, and I'm glad because
Yeah.
this should be a ban. This should be a
Facts.
ban of Enzo and all the other players that were singing whatever they were singing.
Yeah.
Ban. Disrespectful. So now every time I see France
Very.
play this team, I hope France smoke them.
And I said this on the other show, and it felt like I was against Lionel Messi. Sometimes when I read all of these things and I say things about them, people look at it like, "Oh, you just don't like Lionel Messi. Oh, you just don't like Lionel Messi." I'm not attacking Lionel Messi. In the World Cup finals or in the World Cup in general, Argentina was very disrespectful to every team. Look at the situation with them in Netherlands. Look at the situation with Messi
And the other
calling
guy.
somebody a wow. I remember saying it on the squad and on the other show, and people were saying, "Oh, it's because you don't like Messi." It is disrespectful. This Argentina team. Look at their goalkeeper celebration when they won the trophy. Look at some of the things they did in the dressing room. Look at some of the confrontations they had with managers and players. The Netherlands situation. Argentina are known for this thing, and they have been going scot free regardless of what they do throughout. That is why people felt the World Cup was rigged because they would tackle you roughly and not get a card, but then when you tackle them roughly, you get a card. Going through this World Cup and getting six penalties is so unusual.
Yeah.
You understand me? It looks like the world of football is protecting them because they want to protect somebody's legacy. But when we say it, it looks like we are attacking a player. What you said is true. This is very, very bad.
This should be a
This
ban.
is very bad. It should be a ban for Argentina, the players, and they should be used as scapegoats. But JVM, watch me as I tell you, nothing would happen to them. Watch me as I tell you, the players who go into the seasons and play football, and everybody is going to forget about this because FIFA is always going to protect this man's legacy. They don't want to taint his legacy, and they don't want to add him to anything that is going on. What he did in that interview, for him, Messi, what he said in that interview, if you speak Spanish and you speak informal Spanish and you realize what he's saying to another player, I was shocked the whole world treated it like the way they treated it. You understand me? And this Enzo Fernandez thing should be treated very seriously. It was so out of pocket. It was so disrespectful to all of the players they were talking about. It was so disrespectful to the France team. And as France said they were going to investigate, I'm glad they did it to a superpower.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm glad they did it to a superpower.
Because the French national team as well, the French football association should not let this go. And another thing is,
Oh, they are bigger than you.
they've been dragging the Mbappe thing for too long. First of all, it started off with Martinez, the baby covered with Mbappe's face, and it's like that's a bit weird. The whole celebration
That's
he was
bad.
doing with the whole disrespectful kind of just like how do you say distasteful things he was doing. And then there was this coffin they had with Mbappe, and they started burning that coffin. All I'm saying is this is weird. If it was any no, I'm seeing Spain just beat England, and of course you had like the Morata with the chant about Musiala and etc. But that's light stuff. What this team is doing is disrespectful, distasteful, and just racist. And it has to get to a point where these players need to be sanctioned in some way. This whole no room for racism, no room for racism. It's all nice to make the advert and have it written around the pitch, but when something like this happens, what's done? What's being done?
Nothing.
Nothing. So
Nothing.
again, this is very annoying because then they'll make an like I remember Zaha when when there was the whole BLM movement. He got to a point where he stopped kneeling because he said, "What am I doing? What are we kneeling for if nothing's going to change?" And you know what? He was kind of right because nothing's. It's just chat. It's just all chat. It's
Nothing.
It's all bunch of lads. Let's get together. Let's make a nice advert. Let's put nice words around the pitch, and let's hope everyone likes us. Because again, we've had problems with Vinny and etc. That's probably another topic for another day. But these chants, the fact that you feel comfortable to film it, to film it live and
And
upload
post
it
it.
and post it and then try and like cut the video and then start it again. That's a
Wow.
ban. That should be a ban
That
right
is a
there.
ban. And listen to the most generic AI chat GPT apology I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I want to apologize sincerely for a video posted on my Instagram channel during national team celebrations. The song there includes highly offensive languages, and there is absolutely no excuse for negative words. I stand against discrimination in all forms,
You don't.
apologizes for getting caught up in euphoria of our celebrations. That video, that moment, those words do not reflect my beliefs or my character. I'm truly sorry.
Cat.
Most generic chat
Cat.
GPT.
S-
Cap.
someone probably wrote that for him as well. I don't even want to
Facts.
hear it, bro.
You get me? So I was really sad to see all of that, and I want to see what the world of football does with this, because we are all watching. We are all watching.
Anyways, in the Brighton note, you said you had another topic. I forgot what it was about the Euros.
Yeah, I wanted us to do, but we could do it next time. No
Yeah, we
worries.
can
We
do it
can do
next
it
time.
next time.
No worries.
Yeah, we can. But I wanted to give a quick shout out to the official Euros 2024 team of the season
Oh
or
yeah,
team of the
we've not
tournament.
we've not even reacted to that. Yeah, go on.
hmm I wanted to give a quick shout out to the team of the tournament. So the goalkeeper is Mike Mignon from France.
Yeah.
We have Cucurella from Spain, William Saliba from France, Akanji from Switzerland, and Kyle Walker, very shaky, from England. And with the midfield, they have Fabian Ruiz from the Spanish national team, Rodri from the Spanish national team, and Donny Olmo from the Spanish national team. I don't like the fact that they put Olmo there. I would rather the Wits guy. Okay.
Mm,
And
I like
mm,
Olmo there. I like Olmo there.
see, okay, in midfield,
Yeah, in
they were
midfield.
playing Olmo in some positions at false nine.
Yeah, because of Morata, but still, that's where like his starting
hmm
position was, and even like
Okay,
Musiala playing as a striker, it's like you
crazy.
know.
And with the forward liners, they had Nico Williams, shout out to Ghana,
Let me try and get
from the
this.
Spanish national team, Musiala from the German national team, and Yamin Yamal from the Spanish national team.
Yeah,
Shout out to Africa.
and like in the positive note that we're talking about, that the Ballon d'Or run right now is between Bellingham, Vinny. You know, you want to throw in
And
other
Rodri.
players in there. Yeah, Roger as well.
Rodri.
But again, here's what they're gonna do with Roger, because Roger could really win it. Because you
hmm
can make an argument of him being the best player at Man City, and you can make an argument, not an argument, he was the player of the tournament, Euro. So it's
Yeah.
like,
hmm
I find it strange if they don't give it to a Real Madrid player. I'll find it very strange.
Oh yeah, with what Real Madrid did last season, it should be a Real Madrid player.
Yeah, I'll find it
And
very
granted,
strange.
if Bellingham is in the squad, if Bellingham is in contention, he didn't only perform in the Champions League and they had an amazing season. He was in the final.
Yeah,
It is just that for tournaments, when you come second, you are forgotten. You get me? Look at the World Cup. France did everything they could. They just what? Lost in penalties in the final.
yeah. And what?
But
But
we
that
have,
that performance from Mbappe, that was shocking that he did not win the ah
you understand.
hat trick in the final.
That is amazing.
The
That
guy,
is that is. I have a friend who was speaking about spiritual things, and he was telling me what we don't realize is that day was like the change of gods, and he felt after that day, Messi was going to leave Europe, and Messi wasn't going to be that Euro player that we all know because that was the change of gods. Mbappe was telling Messi something that day, like,
yeah,
okay, it's done, old man. And he says every big player had that moment. Every big player has that moment where that young player, Michael Jordan did it to Bird and Magic. There's LeBron James doing it, Kobe Bryant. There's Carmelo Anthony doing it to the likes of Kobe Bryant and like Tracy McGrady. Like there's the
yeah.
change of God. So that was the change of guard, and Mbappe was making his statement and making it known, I am the best player in the world, and it was clear in that game. You get me? So yeah, the second always doesn't get talked about. The second player never gets talked about, but it's crazy. It's crazy how the turnaround is. So yeah, if they have to give it to a Real Madrid player, I think they have to give it to a Real Madrid player. Bellingham also went to the final, had a good game and everything. He didn't have quite the tournament he still went to the final. His team went to the final, and his club team won almost everything in Europe. And they are yet to win another Super Copa in just August.
Yeah.
So that would like rank up all of the trophies, and it's going to look very viable for a Real Madrid player.
When is the thing? Is in October, right? If I'm not mistaken, October,
It is
December.
in October, I think the 15th of October.
Yeah,
Super Cup.
we'll be
I
there.
think the 15th of October. Yeah, definitely.
We'll be there. But again, guys,
Definitely.
we've kind of run over the time a little bit, but thank you very much
Yeah.
for watching. We
Yeah.
told you we're going to bring you two this week. We delivered, and the content is looking better, and we're streaming simultaneously. So as you can see, guys, we are working harder and harder to deliver this quality content to you guys. If you enjoyed the live stream today, please, guys, whether you're on shorts or on the normal vertical stream, leave a like, comment, subscribe, share. Go subscribe to the Instagram. I'll leave the link to my Instagram and Yusuf's Instagram in the description. We appreciate you guys. Yusuf, any final words?
Yeah, let me leave you guys with a quote that is near and dear to my heart, success is certain. Once you live with that thing in your head, success is certain for you. You attack everything with no doubt. You attack everything like you are meant to be there because you feel success is certain in your life. Success is certain in all of our lives. So attack everything in your life with no doubt. Peace.
I appreciate you guys, and as per usual, we'll see you soon.